What's going on, everybody? Adam here with the etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Hollywood Racks RV Rider on our 2021 Chevrolet Equinox. If you're looking for one of the toughest bike racks we sell here at etrailer, this is the one. It's going to be able to handle up to 80 pounds per bike, good for your fat tire bikes and of course your e-bikes. If you have an Equinox and a 2-inch hitch, it's going to be able to work, but also if you have a motorhome, travel trailer, or an RV, it is RV approved for all three of those. So definitely super strong and can handle all of that weight even when it's really far back behind your axle. We are going to have frame contact on this bike rack, so if you have some carbon fiber frame bikes, obviously you're not going to be using a very heavy bike rack like the RV Rider, but it's definitely not going to be good for those carbon fiber frames. We do have locks on each one of these, which is nice, so once we get it all locked into place, you can go ahead and lock that up so no one can unscrew this. But pretty much it's not going to affect anything on your bike rack. It does have a nice rubber coating, so it's not going to scratch anything either. Our cradles are going to be able to fit tire sizes up to 5 inches in width, and the wheelbase we're going to get up to 60 inches. So each one of these, we just turn a little knob and they're going to be able to slide along this center piece here. And that's going to help for adjusting for the smaller kids bikes if you have them, and of course some of those really long wheelbase bikes. We are going to be able to tilt this with the bikes installed. It's going to be pretty difficult just because of all the weight, but I'm going to try and do it today. So all we got to do is take this knob and take that knob off. And then we can take this pin, pull the pin out with the other little screw, and then we'll tilt this down just like this, and hopefully we'll be able to get something out of our hatch. Very close. I do have my handlebars hitting, but I have extremely long handlebars compared to my other bikes, so if you run into this issue, maybe swap around your bikes and that might help get the hatch completely open, but we can still grab whatever we need without hardly any issues. You might need an extra set of hands to get this back upright, but basically what I'm going to do is lean it up and then take our pin, put it through just like that, and then we can take this bolt, put it back where it was, and tighten it down. Now let's go ahead and take the bikes off. I definitely recommend taking the straps off first, pressing this little tab, go up, and we're going to do that on both sides. I like doing these first just because it doesn't hold the bike upright. Just keeps it from moving vertically whenever you're hitting bumps and stuff. But then we're going to put a hand on our bike and twist our knob to the left. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, you know the drill. Just to the point where I can get it and rotate it off of the frame. Then we can start removing our bikes. Next thing we want to do, if we're going to be riding with this without our bikes on, is lower this center mass. To do so, we have the same kind of knob on the front. Just unscrew that. It isn't connected, so keep a hold of that. Pull the bolt out. And then we can go ahead and lay it down like this. Replace that bolt and put our knob back on. With any hitch-mounted accessory, we are going to add a little bit of length to the back of the vehicle. So from the bumper of our Equinox to the end of the cradle, it's going to be about 24.5 inches. But we can go ahead and do the same exact process for tilting it back to fold it up whenever we're not using it. And that's going to bring our distance to about 11.5 inches. And just to check, make sure that we can still open up our hatch, and we can. We can open it up fully, so if it's still in the back there, you can still put your groceries and other items back in the back of your hatch. So the closest point's right here in the center. The center mass is about 2 inches from our lower bumper, and there really isn't any play closer to the bumper, so we don't have to worry about anything hitting the back of our Equinox. We have a straight 2-inch shank, and from the hitch pin hole to the farthest most part of the shank, it's going to be 15¼ inches. And one thing that they do include with it is an anti-rattle bolt and a locking core, so you can lock your rack to your hitch and your bikes to the rack, so nothing's going to run off if you leave it out in the open. The anti-rattle bolt basically binds the hitch and your shank of the rack to make it one, so we're not going to have any rattling or anything like that whenever we're going down the road. To sum it all up, this is a rack that's going to be able to handle pretty much any bike you throw at it. Be mindful of the weight capacity of 80 pounds, but I have not seen a road bike, even if it's electric or fat tire electric, that goes over 80 pounds, but always just be sure to double check. This is going to be able to go on anything that you have with a 2-inch hitch, whether it's an RV or the Equinox here. And that'll do it for a look at the Hollywood Racks RV Rider on our 2021 Chevrolet Equinox.